Alrighty, hey guys, I am showing you guys an indicator that I created. Once again, still haven't figured out why my camera is blinking red, but I will figure that out shortly. I'll probably end up getting a new one this week if it persists, but I'll turn myself off just so I'm not distracting for now. Okay, so in this video, I want to show you guys the indicator that I created called RSI Climax, where I love quant stats, RSI Climax. Um, Essentially, it's a pretty straightforward indicator. I added a couple filters into it. It's really just used to find when your momentum is at a climax. And I used RSI because, well, for one, it's one of the most common, and second of all, it's very customizable. So here's the settings here. If we turn this off, this is if it's agreeing with your trend, so you can click on all sorts of different time frames here. So if you want to go to different time frame, like say you want to look at the 24-hour climaxes, and you come in here and say I want to have the weekly as my, so it has to be above the 200 weekly EMA is what this is saying. Um, it'll filter out for that. If you don't want to use the filter, just click the Boolean button and it will show you a bunch of climaxes. As you can see, it most often will find your tops. It can also find just regular consolidation periods, all sorts of different things. This is why I built the filter in. So it filters out a lot of the extra noise. So anyway, I like this. I don't know. I like it on all time frames, really. It's really quite good. I'll pop around between different time frames. Good at calling tops and bottoms. So yeah, we still have this filter on, don't we? So, so for the same, so just introducing this, it's a simple RSI. Takes into account a couple candlestick patterns, oversold conditions on multiple time frames. It's a pretty complex indicator, but it's also, it's supposed to tell you when your relative strength index is at a climax, and so it works really well, especially if you add trend in with it, which is why I built in this higher time frame filter agreement. This incorporates trend into not just a momentum based strategy. Also, I didn't put the toggles on here, but it also takes into account several different candlestick patterns, like engulfing, bearish and bullish engulfing candles, doji candles, wick, what are they called? Shooting star candles, stuff like that. More of the most basic ones, of course, but as you can see, it's pretty good at, if you have it agree with your trend, as this is, it's pretty good at calling a nice reversal back towards your EMAs at the very least. Now, that's, the ultimate goal of it is back towards the EMAs, and a nice little scalp position. Even if it doesn't completely agree with your short-term trend, it will still most likely call a climax, and so that's exactly what this is for, back towards your EMAs. It's a very high win rate if you use it correctly, and it can also call very strong trending moves. So if you're so like for example, if I were to be using this, I would want to have a higher term time frame outlook upon it. So let's say we're trading the 5 minute, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be, the next move up is going to be an hourly higher low or a lower high. I apologize. So I would be scouting this. If I get this signal, I'm like, okay, well, momentum is topping here, and that's probably the hourly lower high, or vice versa. For whichever one you're looking at. So anyway, I like to pop it around different time frames, change the filter on this. So if you're using the 4-hour, I'd recommend doing the 24-hour, that sort of things. It can call really nice lows, really nice highs, that sort of stuff. Um, like most things, I would just be looking to scalp upon this. If you want to build a trend trading strategy out of it, you have to use a higher term time frame outlook, in my opinion. Um, so if you toggle this off, I'm sure we'll have a couple of extra signals here. That filter really kind of eliminates a lot of the noise. because you can have RSI Climax signals, but that might just mean it's super strong. Like, so obviously we've been in a daily uptrend for months now, so I wouldn't be taking the short signals on a 4-hour time frame. Okay, that's what I mean by having a higher term time frame outlook. But I definitely would be taking the RSI climaxes on a daily time frame that are bullish. So essentially, yeah, like it's use your higher term time frame outlook. That's why I built this into here. Highly would recommend. It eliminates a lot of the losers, and generally we'll call minor bottoms, if not major bottoms within the market. So this indicator is really cheap. I put probably a couple too many hours into it overall, but I really like how it works. And that sort of stuff. Play around with the time frames, see what works for you. This would have been a phenomenal trade, of course, but now we're on the daily time frame. And like I said, like it's calling very nice bottoms and very nice macro tops whenever you use it correctly with the proper filter here. So use the same filter. So if you're trading the 5-minute, use the 1 hour. If you're trading the 1 hour, use the 4 or 12 hour. I'm talking about this. If you're trading the daily time frame, use like the 3 to weekly time, 3 days to 1 week as your filter, that sort of thing. You want to use multiples of at minimal 3 to 5. So like with the 5-minute, and if I were to set this to the 1 hour, that's a pretty darn good filter, but that's like 12 times it. So you could really drop this down to probably the 30-minute and maybe get a few more signals. Like that was a good one that it called there, of course. So like it just really calls at minimal a consolidation period. Okay, so if you have this indicator on there, you set some alerts for yourself. You're in a trade, and this fires. I would just close the trade, because obviously majority of the time we're either going to have a mean reversion back down to set a higher low before going further onward, or that's going to be a climax and we're going to fucking dump, that sort of thing. Anyway, I love this indicator. It's going to stay on my charts. I'm going to have alerts for it all the time. Just so, if this fires, I'm either going to get out of a position or I'm going to get into a position, because it really does work really well. Calling tops and bottoms. So just show you guys some more examples. So this is probably a time period when we had like a 4-hour long signal essentially, and so we had a couple of failed trades. But as you can see, generally speaking, it does at minimal consolidate or mean revert back down towards your EMAs. So build this into a strategy. Build it into a risk-free trading strategy to where you take profit off at your EMAs and then allow the rest to run up higher if you want, that sort of thing. That's what I plan on doing with it. I don't plan on just, something like this happens and then I'm expecting it to go to the moon. Okay, I do expect it to mean revert back towards its median range. 200 EMA is a really good target, as you can tell. But you can use it on all time frames. The settings should be the same. You don't need to really change anything unless you are changing your trend filter here. So it looks for not just RSI climaxes. It uses engulfing candles to confirm the RSI as a climax, as well as you have your trend filter in there to filter out a lot of extra noise within it too. So I love this indicator. I'm glad I put it together. I spent quite a bit of time on perfecting what goes into an RSI climax. And so yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It's available on the website if you want to purchase it and add it to your alerts and add it to your chart. And if not, no worries at all. It's I built it for myself essentially, and if you guys want it, you're more than welcome to profit from it as well. So that's the introduction to this. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the Discord for more information.